Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. Day 51 and today I'm going to talk about how regulating my nervous system ended up regulating my family's nervous system. The entire world's nervous system. And I do think it can be kind of condescending or diminishing to just tell someone, oh, just regulate your nervous system. That's something that we all need to do. It is highly beneficial to step into that responsibility for yourself, but it's not up to you to tell someone else to start doing it, because it's if you are fully coherent for yourself, then other people will match you. They will start matching you. I've been practicing coherent breath work for almost 1 year now. And towards the end of this journey, I also got a heartmath monitor, which is a heartmath sensor, which is a device that just kind of measures your pulse, your heart rate variability, and gives you a heart coherence score. And you connect to an app that kind of, it gives you feedback of how you're doing. Are you actually coherent? So when I started using that, I noticed the same pattern as when I was not using this. It was just much quicker to spot and get through. So what I notice when I do coherent breathing, and it can be a type of breathing where you breathe in for 5 seconds and out for 5 seconds, really simple, or just slightly longer on the out breath. For me, it really works to breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. That's what gives me the highest coherence score from this thing, at least. But it all started with just doing this coherent breath, 3-step breath 3 times per day. So for 3 cycles, I would breathe in for 4, hold for 6, breathe out for 7. And I would do that 3 times in the morning, in the afternoon, and before going to bed. And maybe some more times during the day if I remembered it, or if I was just didn't have anything to do. Then I would also, for a couple of weeks, I would also just look around me and notice 20 things I was grateful for, which was a tiny booster to the coherence that I was already working on. So the results in my life and the pattern that I noticed was that initially I would do the breathing and I would get heart palpitations. Just my heart rate would go nuts. And I'm really happy that it didn't scare me off, because it was just a sign that my nervous system was activated and reacting to my breathing. And then the next time I did it, it would be, the response wouldn't be there anymore, and I would become calm from it. And then a couple of days later, it would happen again. So something else was being released and then just disappeared. And this is what I noticed also with the using the heartmath sensor, was that I would break through to a new coherence level, a higher heart rate variability, a more coherent breath, coherent heartbeat, and then my nervous system would just crash and my coherence score would drop almost to 0. So I could go, for example, to a coherence score of 7 and then it would just crash. But each time that it crashed, it kind of got back to a slightly higher baseline. So yeah, it was this pattern. And it's a pattern that I tried to research online. And I tried to find somewhere to read about it. So I joined Facebook groups about heart coherence and such. And I just couldn't find anything about it. Because I also noticed, especially initially when I started practicing heart coherence, that it wasn't only my nervous system that would react in this way, that it would stabilize on a new level and then crash. I also noticed how my environment would react the same. So people in my environment would just suddenly explode or have a crisis or bring up a lot of projections. Things in my life would just suddenly crash. It was as if when my nervous system was attempting to hold a new level of stability and coherence, everything that didn't align with it would just surface and act out and just finish itself off. But now, a year later, it's definitely stabilizing, as far as I've noticed. And it's funny how it's stabilizing just at a time where the world on a larger scale is going just something. But anyway, in my relationships, in my personal relationships, what I've noticed from just going back to coherence again and again is that not only does it affect other people's own coherence, so you literally, because you have this electromagnetic field extending around you, when it's coherent, it's quite powerful and it helps others to become more coherent. It will help your kids entrain to your nervous system. So if you're a stressed out mom, this is your best bet. So my relationship with my son's father is suddenly at a level where things just doesn't escalate anymore. they just fall off. It just, we can't even start anything to discuss. I think partly especially if he would start something, I just don't. I don't interpret it the same as I used to. It doesn't overwhelm me or overcharge me. With more coherence, you're also more able to communicate. It's maybe not even communicate as much as you're more capable of staying in this friendly communication for longer without freaking out or getting triggered about something and then escalating things and reacting to whatever way the other person is responding. So even though he isn't doing active, coherent breath work, he whenever he joins me in doing it, it's immediately just 10 times better. We're just, yeah, because you sync your heart rate with each other, and then I've been able to, by accident, say the right thing to make myself understood better. So it's definitely an upgrade. Your life doesn't necessarily become perfect. So for example, you're told, I see this everywhere, and I thought this would be something like, yeah, that there would be something to it, that your nervous system can't hold can't hold abundance if you're stressed, or that abundance is linked to coherence, to heart coherence. But I can tell you that I am just calm without money now. I feel super abundant anyway. I feel worthy, I feel beautiful and special, and it's enough. My heart is full. I am enough. It doesn't have to be more than this. Alright, so editing this video, the irony is that I notice all my micro expressions of stress, and how I'm breathing in a kind of way. I cut a lot of it out, but I noticed that actually I'm kind of wired. As a person, I'm kind of wired, like maybe my A-type personality, just in a small and tired package. I don't know, but I'm definitely not as calm as calm people are. I'm still a kind of wired, afraid human. But my coherence journey has just started. So it will be so amazing and exciting to see where I am at in another year, because I'm only just stabilizing. And reaching coherence peaks is actually not the goal. Like when you use a heartmath sensor, or you might, when you're just doing a normal coherent breath without a sensor, or meditating, you might reach these states of very high coherence for a moment. But it's when you have a kind of medium high coherence that's sustained over a long time, that's kind of the sweet spot where we'd like to be, when you're able to stay coherent while filming yourself. So I just wanted to add that. I still do feel so much calmer than I've ever been. I do feel like a completely different person, not only from the coherent breath work, but from a lot of other things, like if I would compare myself. But then my point still stands, that things might not change the way that self-help gurus tell you that they will. You might just see your world with new eyes and just realize how enough everything is, just how everything's just good enough and fine, and your nervous system stops pushing you to grasp for more. Sending some coherence electromagneticness to you, I hope. Bye bye.